As I created this blog embodying the inner sacred masculine, I had a deep healing for myself, and I hope the same for you. This is not gender specific. Please go to my website, Embody Energetic Ecstasy, under the Epic Expressions tab and read Embodying the Inner Divine Feminine. This will bring both energies into balance, which will bring an inner richness to fill our diamond heart so that we can all prosper together with these energies. Enjoy the vlog. Thank you, Naome. Undressing the blue elephants in Pandora's box. Driving is a symbolic analogy to our conscious and unconscious mind. Men love to drive fast. Sometimes they aren't paying full attention and put themselves or others at risk. Some think they can get away with having one hand on the steering wheel and the other hand in their addiction. This is where we get hooked and thereby get into trouble. It causes them to drive their vehicle carelessly. Whenever both hands are not on the steering wheel and we are not fully alert, it produces leaks within the body's biological energy system. The body's biological energy system is a self-contained, organic, solar embodied universal vehicle known as an OSEUV, where all inner engines run mutually independent of each other. It is co-creating inheritance within the framework of the sacred inner masculine and divine inner feminine energy, and experiencing inner limitless enchantment. They co-create together the entire inner structure by uniting and birthing purified energy to fill fuel through their organic engine. This creates a cohesive field of universal support, waking up all senses to a deeper, heartfelt sensuality into embodied energetic ecstasy. Our hearts are the magic wands. We just have to know how to manage our energy to bring our own divine and allow the sacred masculine / divine feminine within to be the force to power our embodied vehicle for us. This means letting go and trusting our cosmic, organic, original sacred design to see the bigger picture and not the third-dimensional, small-minded compass, but with absolute confidence embodied in the driver's seat. We must fire on all cylinders for smooth performance through multi-dimensional realities. The bonus is filling our solar embodied vehicle, burning off inorganic carbon-based material while being deeply present. However, we must have a diagnostic evaluation to uncover faulty codes to repair and access our inherent source energy. To simplify, let's start in the 3D world. Aaron Miller is the rides editor for Super Compressor. In his article, All the Ways You're Driving Like a Dick and Don't Realize It, gives us insight to our blind spots so we can correct them. Aaron shares, Allstate commissioned a study where drivers rated themselves, and 2/3 said they considered themselves very good or excellent drivers. But were much less complimentary about 80% of everyone else. It's a little thing called illusory superiority. When we lie to ourselves about how good we are at certain things, even if we're pretty honest about other people's screw-ups. What does this mean? It means you're almost definitely driving like a dick, just like the rest of us. First, we must look at the wounds of the imbalanced mind / body that causes illusory superiority. Similar to the woman producing an illusory second attention to survive through seduction, as discussed fully in Embodying the Divine Inner Feminine under the Epic Expressions tab on www.embodyenergeticecstasy.com. The masculine has been conditioned to produce illusory superiority as a coping mechanism to protect themselves due to heavy scarring, not to feel, not to cry, to shut down all emotions, keeping them pinned up until they implode with rage. In the meantime, programming them to objectify as one of the ways to man up in our society, along with being Prince Charming, hero, and other savior, false light conditioning, driving illusory superiority into another blind spot. Although, as we deepen into feeling, knowing, and nurturing our sixth sense, it opens the heart, allowing higher intelligence to take command of our embodied vehicle. This purifies the energy field. It takes focus and skill. It is important to be sustained and patient with oneself, observing the habitual addictive phantical visions and not fall for temptations to sexual sensation. It allows the sensation to rise without acting on them. We must be the observer of our own inner world, to be in tune with our vehicles, to master all sensations in the heart, body, and mind. It takes conscious discipline, not allowing sexual energy leaks to clog your fuel line. We have been steering down illusionary highways while piling on everyone's pollution around us through roads of entanglement. By reflecting how the masculine energetically violates and objectifies his own inner feminine energy, gives us insight to hidden blind spots that hit below the belt, and blows up the engine of the organic solar embodied universal vehicle. Some men that are disconnected from deep shock, combined with trauma, sexual seduction, violation, and confusion, fuel their vehicle with dangerous toxic mixes of exhaust, emitting poisonous gases. Since they have been taught to repress their emotion, it takes a roadmap back in time to see where they are caught in a roundabout of destructive thoughts. Sometimes the psyche of the person is unconsciously trapped. This is when they're stuck in many lifetimes of obsession, compulsive loops. Because the past abuse is so unfathomable that they can't swallow it, the emotions of rage, powerlessness, control, and fear become their passengers. For an example, a little boy hides in a closet while his mother is being physically and verbally abused. In the first layer of emotion, he feels helpless and afraid. After the violation, the second layer of emotion he feels are anger, resentment, guilt, and shame for not being able to help her. The third layer, he feels abandoned by his mother, and he is confused because his mother is supposed to protect him from a world in which such things happen. He doesn't feel safe. Notice how these layers of emotions stack and build on each other like a backed-up freeway system in need of repair. Another example, in the United States and parts of Canada, infant boys are circumcised shortly after being born. Can you imagine being warm in your mother's womb, ready to face the world? With all your senses wide awake to experience the love and nourishment from your parents, but instead, you're suddenly yanked out to have the top of your penis clamped and cut off without anesthetic. It's like cutting off the main sensory throttle to the embodied vehicle, causing all the engine lights to go on. Circumventing emotion as a defense mechanism and disconnecting the infant from their feelings. They are left emotionally scarred with the program "is too painful to feel," which causes a distortion in the shaft, throwing the entire axis out of alignment. In order to have the shaft run in balance, the centrifugal coupling between the two pairings should be balanced and neutralized each other for an organic force to fill fuel for the engine. Instead, undue stress in the shaft interferes, inducing loss of power and reduced torque due to backed up lines from emotional blockage. This shock produces a crack in the embodied vehicle's headlights, blinding them from the truth and missing the mark. Missing the mark equals sin. Operating from sin, blindness, they become easily influenced by persuasive, manufactured, subliminal marketing brands with slanted, objectified messages. It becomes more about checking out than checking in to avoid the pain. The Internal Journal of Men's Health has published the first study of its kind to look at the link between the early trauma of circumcision and the personality trait disorder alexithymia. The study by Dan Boilinger and Robert S. Van Howe, MD, MS, FAAP, found that circumcised men are 60% more likely to suffer from alexithymia, the ability to process emotions, which will automatically back up the reactions in the second gear, mirroring the woman's second seductive attention. Without the sensory throttle, a man's ability to feel an orgasm has been hijacked into Never Never Land, needing Tinkerbell juice to rev his engine. What a setup. No wonder men drive like dicks. Writing this has taken me to my knees in deep compassion for the men that have endured such a horrific crime. Here is an educational video to unmask the truth so that we can stop this barbaric practice. Circumcision, the whole story. Unfortunately, as you will see in the video, parents are programmed to have their infants circumcised, which is a huge disturbance in the universal vehicle. Steve Richards, holographic kinetics teacher, explained, "The spirit of the baby boy knows this is not a natural procedure, resulting in blaming his mother for not protecting him. His spirit is split apart from the trauma, leaving heavy scars in the child's unconscious mind, body, and spirit." This explains why men, just hours after they enter into the world, have challenging emotional lives. The trauma shatters the psyche by breaking down the defenses of the human body. The emotional tear/tear in the universal vehicle caused from the circumcision amputated the main pipeline to discernment, allowing violation within the vehicle. It's no wonder we have borderline personality disorders. Another blind spot is watching a father or another male figure physically and or verbally abuse his mother, sister, or another significant female in his life. The child is heavily scarred to think that this is a normal way of being. There is no spark for life. At an early age, there is a pattern developed to disrespect, dishonor, express anger toward, and hate the woman they allegedly love, because if you love her, it will only manufacture pain. Over the course of time, the environmental elements can cause a spark to cross over from one spark plug to another due to inner entanglement from resisting emotions, causing carbon buildup and confusion. When that happens frequently, a sticky carbon track forms, gunking up the engine, which cuts off the spark. It's very similar to that of a crack distributor, causing his inner phenomenon to backfire. By rejecting this part of his embodied vehicle, he is essentially choosing to ignore the check-in engine light to punish her, abandoning his inner phenomenon within, which continues the pattern of carbon buildup and dysfunction violation, spewing toxic fumes from his embodied vehicle and missing the mark. Gambling with life, obviously not playing with a full deck of cards. Without feeling the pain of his inner phenomenon, one or two of his cards remain trapped in trauma. By refusing to maintain the disturbances in the embodied vehicle, visual distraction, manual distraction, and mental distraction, and acknowledging the entire deck of cards, he will drive the same pattern until the engine blows up, dies, or the vehicle crashes. Without sensory discernment, illusionary superiority entraps him unknowingly. Violation shows up in many forms, distorting the view of the driver. Causes violation to the point that the embodied vehicle is so used to the violation that the inner masculine has no way of knowing or seeing anything else. I once spoke with a man who had a distressing childhood. His grandfather was a pedophile. He witnessed his grandfather fondle and violate his little sister right before his innocent eyes. He became confused. Love to him included coercion, manipulation, and molestation. He coped by compartmentalization his emotions, distorting his beliefs. A few years later, when he was 12 years old, he asked his 16-year-old babysitter what the birds and the bees were. She said, "I will show you," and had sex with him. In his young mind, he thought it was the best thing that happened to him. He did not understand he had been violated. All it did was pile another layer of confusion behind the identity of illusionary superiority. Victims of sexual abuse / molestation are baffled because on one level, it can feel very good to be touched, explored, and desired. But on another level, the spirit of the embodied vehicle knows there is some form of violation. In addition, without the sensory thoughtless ability for deeper discernment, energy leaks plug into justification, spinning the embodied vehicle out of control. In this dysfunctional family, the little boy not only witnessed his father violate his sister, but felt excluded that she was given brand new toys, while he received dirty secondhand trinkets. In his mind, his sister was the chosen one. Right then, he was set up to believe that the female body is to be used for his pleasure and you give them if you want more. The next layer, the boy feels angry and helpless because he can't protect his little sister. He feels responsible because he doesn't have the maturity to know what to do. The third layer, he felt agitated, fueling his carbon-based body. By resenting his sister for getting the new doll, while he received the worn-out plaything. Then the babysitter rapes him, which felt good to him, so he is confused. He thinks rape is not a violation. Here is where the cards were misplayed. It's okay to violate, including young girls. Boundaries are broken. It's okay to dishonor boundaries. Buy them gifts. Justify actions with an agenda to violate. Resents the chosen one, his sister. Resents his own inner feminine and punishes her unknowingly. Violation feels good, so it's okay. If anything feels good, that justifies my actions. Females are objects. Objectifies his inner feminine, rejecting that part of him. Oppress and dominate to have control. Fear of losing love. Manipulate and violate at any cost. Fear is the undercurrent of the child. Abandonment is at the root. Violation is the emotional injury. I violate to be loved. Years later, this man had major heart issues and had surgery. After going through hell and back, he barely made it. He was astonished to discover his psychic abilities during his recovery. But on some level, he thought he lost his mind because he didn't understand all the different energetic forms he was seeing. He searched for answers, but he was taught from misguided teachers to meditate and astral project to better manage the energy. However, he found the astral realm to be a fanatical playground. Since he did not understand the truth behind the curtain, some of these entities from other realms were able to seduce him. At times while he was asleep, They would come into his dreams and violate him. But because it felt good, he allowed it, not realizing he was being energetically raped and unconsciously trapping himself like a caged animal, to be tagged, used, oppressed, dominated, and controlled. Not only had he been raped, but he unknowingly rejected and objectified his inner feminine by needing external resources to feed his illusionary superiority fixation, building his toxic highway system with even more accumulated carbon-based sexual sensations and corrupted desire. His embodied vehicle had been turned into a synthetic enamel branded machine, engraved with a gold star pervert trademark. Driving his vehicle with seduction and predatory energy, fueling his carbon body with more pollution. Yet he had been working hard on his layers and saw the astral realm was a setup for sexual addiction, violation, and that these possessed entities are falsified tricksters. Filling his organic tank with bad gas, it caused indescribable glitches that manifested themselves in some pretty bizarre ways, like poor performance or foul smells and other misfires. Again, the engine light went off. Because of his heavy scarring, he learned to objectify females, producing energy leaks, causing a need to siphon from Tinkerbell. His justifications continued to violate her because the pattern of resentment from his sister gradually set up to reject his inner feminine energy, putting him in overdrive. This state of constant high revving wears the engine down and makes the vehicle unruly. With one hand in addiction, he mismanages his embodied vehicle out of alignment, driving recklessly. Due to his misaligned vehicle, his adult relationships are stuck in blame from his habitual projection of carbon's distortions. His gunked up engine blinds him even more, producing more losses in the future. Through his illusory superiority distortion, if the female is the chosen one, she ends up being rewarded through violation while the masculine is left out. This reflects in his outside world, triggering extreme pain with partners in his life, sabotaging his life without fully understanding all the players of the distorted dicks in his mind, which broke his heart so many times. It malfunctioned the embodied carburetor, crashing his vehicle. To enliven the embodied vehicle, it is important to keep the heart engaged, to awaken the sensory throttle back into your original organic embodied alignment. It takes tuning up and rebuilding the affected parts of the engine. You must be in touch with your emotions to enhance and maximize top performance, resulting in focused precision to dissolve into divine radiance by understanding. The lung gives life to the heart because it pumps pure blood / plasma throughout your veins and arteries, ultimately giving yourself a new spark and clear pathways to connect yourself to the crystalline grid, the universal highway system. Without the lungs, the heart will not work. Like the sacred inner masculine and the divine inner feminine, both must coexist by supporting each other. Breathing in each other and being deeply present gives your embodied vehicle meticulous, crafted alignment to move with purpose. Restored with jewel eye headlights to efficiently see blind spots with laser sharp discernment, along with high combustion to burn off low carbon-based frequency to clear emotions. The embodied vehicle is able to run efficiently and even transform from a heavy carbon-based fueled vehicle to one of clean solar power. When men are ready to see their inner feminine and acknowledge their emotions, see their blue elephants in Pandora's box, and address their archetypes, they will reap rewards. By transforming their character defects to divine qualities of compassion, empathy, understanding, honor, respect, nurturing, intuition, heart intelligence, and powerful insights, gives the masculine the ability to transform the world. It is heart-altering. I hope you reflect and see what elephants are hiding in your own Pandora's box. To bring your systems back to an organic field of embodied energetic ecstasy, nourishing your organic solar embodied universal vehicle, OSEUV, filled with harmonic balance. Thank you for your time and your courage. With deep, profound, and organic love, Naome Swan. Embody energetic ecstasy. Your energetic cellular stabilizer.